Somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody.
R.A.W, man, checking in. Another episode. Man, long week here in Texas, man. Dealing with the cold. You know what I'm saying? Lights out. Man, so many things. But guess what? Made it through it all. Here back to talk to y'all about never giving up. And if you tuned in last week, you was prepared for it because we talked about stress last week. I want to shout out to everybody who left a comment in the section on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Junior talked about he started meditation last year. We had Toya talking about this year, no means no, letting her know mean no. Man, I'm glad you all sharing your ideas and thoughts on dealing with stress, because pretty sure everybody was stressed out this week if you lived in the state of Texas. But with that being said, the clip that I just played was from Rocky 6, and that clip came out, that movie came out in December. So just imagine that. It was cold when that movie came out. So I wanted to go back to Black History Month, with it being Black History Month, and shed some light on a lady who went through it all, and cold and all that, and still made it through. And that lady is Harriet Tubman. And her story is a great story, talking about never giving up and going through things. And man, she dealt with colder weather than we did without the luxury of life that we have now. So Harriet Tubman, her birthday is unknown because she was born in 1820. At that time, they didn't keep accurate records or anything. She was born in Maryland, and she escaped freedom in 1849 by traveling to Philadelphia from Maryland. Man, 90 miles walking, however she can get it, dealing with the elements. So, in her whole life, she dealt with a lot of physical violence. That left her with the scars from it. Like, she got 5 lashes one time that she recalled from before breakfast. She got whipped, so she had that scar for the rest of her life. Then she got hit in the head with a 2-pound weight for refusing. Get this, refusing a oversteer to help restrain escaped slave. So man, she got hit, and that's what really messed her up, because that's when she started having headaches and seizures. So imagine escaping to freedom, 90 miles, and man, within any of that time, you could just fall out, have a seizure, dealing with the headaches, man, watching out over your back, the cold weather, all that, and still push through. crazy thing is, once she freed herself, that wasn't it. She went back between the years of 1850 to 1860. She did 19 trips from the south to the north, freed over 300 people that they know of, and including her parents and siblings, man. Then she passed away, and it says around the age of 93 from pneumonia. And when she was buried with honors in Fort Hill Cemetery. So, man, that's crazy. Think about that. That lady is a real soldier, man. She went back for others, dealt with the elements through her own personal struggles and all that, and was still able to accomplish so many things over time. So we got to remember that, yeah, you might be having a rough time now and dealing with things, but it get better. Like, for example, when we was dealing with the weather for a whole week, lights got cut off, it got real cold. Man, if you was prepared, what you should be, and I want to say that. So, well, what I did and what I do is I start to try to be prepared for things before they even happen. So during this whole pandemic thing, me and my son, we've been building these go bags, and we putting like survival stuff in it, like, because we plan on going hiking after, everything clears away. And so got like sleeping bags and things of that nature, hand warmers, flashlights. What else we got? We got petty cash, trying to keep at least like $1,000 on you. Think of what else we got in the bags. No, pocket knives and things of that nature, man. So with that being said, think about what you dealt with if you was out here in Texas, or if you ever had to survive, and start building you a bag. Don't wait till things happen. Try to be prepared for things to happen. So you just, like we just said last episode, that help with that stress of dealing with the thing while it's happening. And like, if you think about Harriet Tubman, she wasn't prepared. She just up and left one day, and just, man, if you watch the movies about it, they had little documentary movies about it, or if you read the stories about it, I'll leave a link in the description where I got my information from. Just imagine being out there by yourself, or even with others that's scared, want to turn around. Like, man, are you sure we know where we going? No GPS. Just out there like we going to freedom. Where is freedom? This way, so let's try to take a little bit of that moving forward and getting prepared for the turbulence of life, and just know that you gonna go through things. If you listen to the clip, life gonna hit you hard, man, and you gonna be like, man, where is this all coming from? And it's gonna get overwhelming, and you gonna be wanting to give up. But just dig deep and find your reason why you want to keep on going. A lot of people, say it's their kids that they want to keep going for. It's a goal in life, or it's just that the mental fortitude of just keeping it going in your mind will help you physically keep it going in your body. You know what I'm saying? Because it was nights up in here, it was cold. I had my sleeping bag, everything. I was warm, but it was just like, when is this going to end? Is it going to end? All these thoughts go in your head when you're going through some tough times. So with that being said, I want to shout out Black women, and especially like the mothers, because Harriet Tubman had kids. And, sometimes you're dealing with, I want to shout out Black women and mothers, especially the ones that's raising Black men by themselves, because that can be overwhelming, because you got to play mother and father to like a person that's going to grow up with so much adversity ahead that they don't even know about yet. Like, just being Black men in America, That's hard already. And then, so you gotta like have that tough love as well as like have a soft side for him, because he don't know what he about to get into yet. It could be anything can go wrong just by a split second getting pulled over, or just living in the wrong neighborhood, or his temperament, or whatever it may be. So I also want to get on a personal level with y'all while y'all listening. The reason why I came up with this idea and topic is because I had a phone call, man, and and it was one of those phone calls that you like, man, are you serious? But you never know. So let me share this with y'all. Even though we going through what we going through in Texas, what you think is bad is somebody else going through something maybe worse than you, or not as worse as you. But they may be saying, it's over with, I'm give up. I had enough. And you're like, what? And it's like, yeah, I'm about to do something to myself, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, wait, how do you get to that point where you want to give up and say it's all over with? So yeah, that was a tough conversation to have with a person that I looked at to be so strong like me. You know what I'm saying? We grew up together, and, but I will say the things that we go through in our past, if you don't like talk about them or address them, they will show up later in the future as triggers or things that, drive you to do or abuse alcohol or drugs or whatever the case may be, that you just unaware of, and you keep burying the bone. But sometimes you got to uncover that bone and, or get rid of the bone, period. So with that being said, I wanted to say to everybody thinking about saying it's over with, man, find someone to talk to, man. They got a hotline number. I'll definitely leave that in the description, that you can, call at any time, day or night. You can go to a place, man, and get yourself some help. Call a person that you can trust. They can help you out. They can listen to you, that you could talk it out, go somewhere safe, and just think about everybody else that you might be letting down, especially if you have kids, man. You don't want to put that thought in your kids' head that, like, when it get tough, to give up. No, when it get tough, man, just keep it going, man. It's going to get tough, man. We didn't expect the lights to go out, or we didn't expect the cold to be in Texas, but it was. It was unpredictable. We got some predictable stuff that happened to us and some unpredictable stuff that happened to us. But one thing that we all know, that things get better. Trust me. It get way better, man. Just keep 10 toes down. Get through the days. They may be the longest days of your life. And just keep thinking about why you doing this for. Or better yet, think about what are you going to do. Try to come up with a new way of living, a new outcome of life. Reinvent yourself in those tough times. Yeah, so I just wanted to share light on that. It's going to be short and sweet. I ain't got too much to say, man. Just everybody stay safe out there. Continue on, being safe. Reaching out to those people, man, because it's some warning signs that I was reading online. The people that may need you to reach out to them a little more than usual, man, if they doing some things that's abnormal, because this is just not a thing that happened because for nothing. Sometimes it happened because of the climate of the world right now. Overwhelming bills, stress, loss of jobs, a loss of a loved one, because we dealing with that with the COVID stuff. anything can, snap a person from they so-called norm into an abnormal state. Increasing alcohol use and drug use, of dramatic mood swings, talking about it, writing about it, or thinking about death, impulsive or reckless behavior, threats or comments about killing themselves, social withdrawal from friends, family, and community. But man, with social distance, we all withdraw, and we just don't know the importance of being social, man. Just like, you can tell me you cool on the phone, but when you can look at a person, you kind of say, hey, man, what is it? There's something about you that, the energy, you don't feel. Is there anything I can do for you? Talk to you, reach out to them, and pray with them. Prayer is always a good thing. I think the social distancing and the whole pandemic, especially with it being cold outside, it's getting to us all. But we all got to remember, man, it's going to be summer in a couple months. Sun going to be shining. If you live in Texas, man, it's about to be 60 tomorrow. It's crazy. It was just like negative. Well, it felt like negative 20. But just with that alone, it sees that you can see that how life can be negative or cold one day, and 4 or 5 days later, the sun is out and everybody out and about back to normal like nothing ever happened. What if you gave up in that time where it was cold out and you was like, oh man, I can't take it no more. And then 4 days later, here go the sun just shining. Everybody outside having a good time, Man, think about that. It says you not going through what you're going through right now for a long period of time. Even though it seemed that way, man, we got some brothers locked down right now. They got an L, meaning they ain't gonna get out, but they still doing their time, man. Just imagine how hard that time is, knowing you got to be here forever. I mean, one thing we all have is the free will of doing whatever you want to do and being whoever you want to be. I mean, being black in America, it may be hard, but I said that to say that your circumstances right now what's the words I'm looking for? I'm lost for words, but what you going through right now won't change who you gonna become later in life. Like, if you know anything about me, like, I had a upgrowing. It's kind of rough, but then here I am now. It's like, man, people who see me now be like, man, you the same dude. Yeah, I'm the same person. We all go through things, and when you going through things, the beauty of it is learning and growing through the things, and then coming out the other side so the world can see, like, man, it's a dang. I knew that brother was going through a lot, but look, here he is today, doing way better. So sometimes you can be a role model and example that tough times don't last, but tough people do. You know what I'm saying? So keep on keeping on. And like, once again, I want to thank everybody who listened every week, who liking, who commenting, who subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Because some people can look into the comment sections, maybe reach out to you. How do you deal with, like Junior's talk about meditation? What do you do? How does that feel? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? So we can have a community and help, and, shed light to this subject right here, because this is a very important subject. But not only to that, to other things, networking and just creating a better, a safer space for people to, open up about things, Well, like I said, man, the homie will be here next week. He worked out. Oh, man, shout out to him, man, because his wife left him a nice little comment on social media, man. He was like a superhero. He from Chicago, so he's down here working, man, out there in the elements, taking care of the fort, making sure they have food and all that. So, man, shout out to you, bro. Keep it going, man. I know you couldn't be here, but you're probably on the clock right now, man. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And to everybody else, man, tune in next week. We'll have another raw episode for you, but food for thought, man. Never give up. And if you are thinking about that, reach out, man. Please reach out, because the importance of you reaching out and seeking the help, man, talk it out. Don't give up. And R.A.W, I'm out.